Buddy, on this Saturday afternoon, and welcome to my kitchen where I've decided to go live here on YouTube as we prepare a pizza this afternoon. Back on Wednesday, actually, I prepared pizza dough for use, and I used some of it on Thursday, but it's been 3 days now. The rest of the dough has been fermenting in the fridge, and today is definitely the day where I have to use this dough, or else it will start. I guess you could say the yeast will start dying. So that means I figured, well, then it's definitely time to make a pizza. So, I have been I've laid the pizza out here in probably my favorite weapon for making pizza, and that would be good old Stumpy, the number 14 size Birmingham stove and range cast iron skillet. He's made quite a few pizzas, and this is going to be yet another one. I've had the dough actually lying out in the pan for a good 2 hours, in fact. So it's definitely come up to room temperature. And that also means I've been able to, as you can see, easily set the dough to fill up a big size pizza pan of this kind. One thing, though, actually, I realize that would probably be new is that this is not the only piece of cast iron that we're going to be using to make this pizza with. In fact, I'm using a trick that I learned recently about making pan pizza in cast iron, in that in the stove right now, or in the oven, I should say, heating up to 550 degrees, I have got the large pizza pan. That one is heating up in the oven here because the trick I learned is that when you make your pan pizza, if in fact, rather than just simply sitting it in your hot oven, if you rest it on a piece of preheated cast iron, that's going to heat the bottom even better and ensure your crust is fully cooked. So that's what we're doing. In that case, all I really need to do is, oh, hello, Cynthia. Yes, yeah, I know. Sorry for the sudden notice here. This is one of those spontaneous things that I just decided to do. So, no, I am not requiring anybody to stay, especially since if you're busy on this Saturday afternoon. I mean, don't interrupt on my account. You can always watch the playback. Anyway, we are putting together some pizza dough, and let me give one more look here again. Good old Stumpy, the number 14 BSR cast iron skillet, where, as you can see, the pizza dough has been resting and it is ready for use. So, this part here is pretty easy. Actually, yeah, that's right. We will start out with our crushed tomatoes. And in fact, I realized I forgot one thing, namely that I'm going to have to drain these. So, we'll start this way. I love this immersion blender here. You know, funny thing is, the immersion blender, I've actually seen this deal for a long time at Walmart, in that this is a KitchenAid immersion blender, so it's a pretty good one. At Walmart, I found out if you look regularly in the kitchen section, the immersion blender is, what is it, like $50 or $60. However, if you get the so-called red immersion blender, it's only $40. You know, that's the red campaign. You know, the one that's, I forget actually what the red campaign is for. It's either breast cancer or HIV, I forget which. And hey, that's a good cause. And if it means as well that I'm getting this, that I got this blender for only $40, I'm certainly not complaining. All right, anyway, we got this. One thing I need to do, though, that of course I forgot. I thought I had everything prepped out, but one thing I did forget, and that is I have to drain it. Oh, yeah, you too. It's always something. Okay, wrong. Oh, okay, I'm definitely going to have to get that strainer and right now I'm still slowly setting up my kitchen anyway, and I can see definitely this strainer here, I'm gonna have to hang on a hook because it's so immensely useful and I'm using it all the time, you know, for cooking rice, or in this case, straining tomatoes. There we go. And I just realized I should have put a bowl underneath that so that I could catch that tomato juice and drink it, because why not? Oh well. Waste not, want not. Well, alas, that's life. Anyway, all I really need to do is just drain this for a couple of minutes, and then we get down to the fun part of building some basic pizza sauce, which is nothing difficult at all about that. The hardest part really about making this, making a homemade pizza is rising the dough. As I said, this one here was rising in the oven for 3 days. And there are so many recipes for pizza dough out there, it's hard to say really which one is the best. In fact, I believe yet another pizza dough recipe premiered on YouTube like about a month ago and has gotten about 1 million hits. If you look up the one that says supposedly genuine New York slice, and it's about a month or so old. Supposedly, this guy did tons and tons of research into making the perfect New York pizza. Well, I'm not doing that. I'm using pretty much a very simple pizza sauce recipe that I like. And the dough recipe came from one of my favorite YouTube channels. Yeah, I get it all over the place. One of my favorite YouTube channels, Brian Lagerstrom, who has quickly become one of the pizza masters of YouTube. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people have heard of Brian Lagerstrom at this point. All right, let's get this back over here where it should have been. Yeah, I should have just used a bowl instead of changing the viewpoint over to the sink. Oh well. Anyway, the immersion blender is done, so I can put that aside too. So give me 1 second to unplug the immersion blender. You know, not a good idea to leave a sharp electric instrument plugged in. And now, finally, for the pizza sauce, which is really nothing to it. In this case, I like to do some pepper, a little bit of oregano. As you can see, I'm not even measuring this. A little bit of oregano. If nothing else, I could say, why the heck, I mean, okay, I know there's one big reason why you can buy pizza sauce at the store. It tastes good. But this tastes pretty good too, if I may say so. That was basil. A little bit of garlic powder. There we go. And I can't exactly call it a secret ingredient, but into this pizza sauce, I like to throw in some grated, this is a Parmesan Romano blend. You know what? How many people can really tell the taste difference between Parmesan and Romano? I love both of them. All right, so there we go. Instant pizza sauce. And yes, I am not even cooking this pizza sauce because, you know, there's one of the many things they argue about over in pizza world. To cook the sauce or not. And they say if you want a genuine New York pizza, then no, you don't cook the sauce. And of course, some people say you do anyway. However, this thing is going to be going into a 550-degree oven. So I have no doubt whatsoever. No, I've done this before, so I know this is still going to be just fine without cooking the sauce. And with that, let me see. I've got that. I've got cheese, more cheese, and the peps. And there we go. Which means, now actually I want to keep this here and put this over here. In fact, that was probably even too much sauce. Let me just get that one last time. Though, as you can see, this dough easily fits in this pan. All right, because we don't want all of this sauce on here. As they say, you don't want the crust to get soggy. Maybe a little bit more in this. In fact, should be enough. Let's do this. All right, maybe a tiny bit more. We'll cover up these spots here and here, and that is definitely enough. There we go. That's step one. Step two, the good old mozz. They argue over everything in pizza world, you know, whether or not to use pre-shredded mozz or not, because they say if you use the pre-shredded stuff, it will not pull as well. So far, I have not been able to achieve a really great pull, whether or not I shred my own, grate my own mozz or not. And yes, I do use high quality mozzarella when I grate it myself. So I'm still missing something as far as the pull is concerned. Nonetheless, this is still a whole milk mozzarella, not the partially skimmed stuff. As they call it, low moisture whole milk. And that should probably be, maybe a little bit more, because apparently the idea is you're not supposed to actually completely white out the pizza. So this should be plenty. I forget if I said, oh yeah, that's right. The dough recipe, as I mentioned before, came from Brian Lagerstrom. This is the one he calls delivery pizza. You know, it's based on the typical pizza delivery, you know, the local pizza place at just about every town here. The kind that that at least in the old days you used to have delivered, especially for on a Saturday night, where you would chow down on this pizza while playing your Nintendo 64. And of course, gotta have the pepperoni. Here we go. Trying to be as quick as I can here so as not to bore anyone. But yeah, I mean, anybody who's made pizza in cast iron knows that really once you have made pizza in cast iron a few times, you will find your delivery bills going your pizza delivery bills going way down. And that's good because, as you also know, within the last couple of years or so, pizza delivery bills have gone way up. I mean, can you really pay anything less than probably $40 to $50 for any pizza delivery, even if you're just ordering one single or maybe a 2 pizza special? You know, between the delivery fees and other fees, and that's why I have to admit I do not use DoorDash for that reason. DoorDash tacks another huge fee on top of everything else. So why bother when, again, I can make it myself? And if I'm not satisfied, well, then that means I just have to keep working on it until I come up with a homemade pizza that does satisfy. Although, I don't think there's going to be any problem with this one. Alright. Now that we've done that, oh, by the way, hi, my nose is on the screen. I don't blame you. I'm doing this on my phone, unfortunately, which means really I cannot back scroll and read the comments, so I apologize for that as well. When I do my Wednesday Night Lives, I have my laptop set up and everything where I can see the full live chat. Here, I have to admit I can't. Some more Romano Parmesan. There we go. And with that, this pizza is ready for the oven. Okay, now we will get to use that trick that I mentioned already. And that is, again, it's time to move to the oven here. There we are. Where in this oven, we've got the large pizza pan. You know, the new pizza pan that they came out with about, what is it now, maybe about 3 years ago when they redesigned it, the flat pizza pan, so that it's much easier to put this thing in. And, well, let me see if I can get a view of that before we open the oven. Let's see if I can make this fit here. Sorry about this. Hold on. I apologize. I don't seem to be getting the angle quite right. Orientation is locked. Okay, that didn't work. Sorry about that. I guess it didn't like that. So let's get back to where we were. Actually, you can see it down there on the inside. And besides, you've seen the large pizza pan, the flat large pizza pan. So this thing here is on the bottom shelf. I learned that much about my oven. And we've got it up to 550 degrees. So let's do it. Good thing that this is not preheated. Otherwise, I'd be killing myself. Okay. And Stumpy fits on the large pizza pan with no problem at all. Okay, so now this should not take very long at all either. With any luck, especially since we heated up the oven so well, this thing could be done within maybe 10 minutes, maybe only a little bit more. Which means we've got some time, let me turn on the heat here, to do one last thing, and that is prepare a garlic butter. So there we go. Here, I have just got, before it gets hot, a BSR Red Mountain skillet, 3G. So again, for folks who wonder what use a number 3 size cast iron pan is for, well, here's one answer for you. Let me change this around a little bit, see if I can get a better view of that. I think that's a little better. Well, it's possible that 4Jim has his own things going. I mean, after all, tomorrow is Easter. A lot of people go to midnight mass, so maybe he's actually taking a nap before that, which is fine. Otherwise, all we're really doing is heating up this pan, and I'm just throwing in, nice and simple, some garlic and some butter. Hence, garlic butter. Yes. Right at this moment, I'm regretting that I have not yet refurbished that Lady Bess saucepan that I acquired last week, because it would be perfect for this. It's like about a 1-quart saucepan. And really, this is one thing that a pan like this would be made for. Oh well. Nonetheless, this is probably not going to take long either. Okay, good. I just want to be sure I don't have this heat up too high either, because the thing about garlic, you know the thing about garlic, we don't want it to burn. Give me a second as well. I think I'll rinse off this immersion blender here before it's too late. There we go. All right. See here. Okay, now that we've done that, time to throw in some butter. Using maybe a little less, I'd say probably about a little less than 1/2 of 1 stick, which is probably more than enough, and the extra. All right, well, since we'll be using the basting brush, might as well just stir it with the basting brush. Nothing to it. Let's throw in a couple of garlic cloves. Make this a garlic butter as promised. So really, by the time this is melted, this garlic butter should be just about ready here. I mean, all we have to do is toast these garlic cloves. Meanwhile, it's been 3 minutes for the pizza. I did note the time when it went in the oven. Right now, my oven clock says 3:52, so that may actually be closer to 4 minutes now. I put it in when my oven clock said 3:48. Oh, my microwave clock. So I will check it at 10 minutes. The thing about that delivery pizza recipe, as I mentioned, the dough uses a fair amount of sugar, especially so that you can get a lot of browning on it. So, in fact, when I used this recipe to make that cast iron pizza in the New York skillet a couple of days ago, and it looked like it was burned when it came out of the oven after only a little more than 10 minutes. In fact, it was not. I think I had just managed to get it out of the oven just before it burned, because it tasted delicious. There was no burn taste at all, even though it looked pretty dark. So yeah, there we go. Pepperoni pizza with some garlic butter. Not a bad way to spend a Saturday afternoon. Oops, I think I can even turn this off because I can see how this is bubbling like this. Don't want to burn the butter. In fact, stirring it constantly is probably the right thing to do for that reason, because I don't want to burn it. Anyway, actually what I can even do at this point is move back over to my workspace, clean it up, and get ready for the pizza. And I can even move that number 3 pan over here. Ooh, the handle is already hot, so let's get a pot holder. There we are. So yeah, that's another nice thing about building homemade pizza. I mean, we've got enough stuff left over here for at least one more pizza. I'm using all of my dough, but I could easily, if I had both dough balls, I could have easily made another pizza with what I have here at no extra cost. So yeah, that's needless to say. That's one of the big advantages of having a, making pizza yourself. As I said, rather than dealing with that delivery cost, that'll these days would mean your pizza could cost you like anywhere from $40 to $50. Including the cost of this pepperoni here and other toppings, this entire setup here is less than $10, and it easily builds 2 pizzas. There will probably even be leftovers if you want to make a third. So yeah, if you want to save costs, definitely go and make your own pizza. I don't think I'm saying anything you folks don't know already. Right now I'm just busy rinsing out this can from the tomatoes here. There we go. So, appreciate your patience, folks. There we go. I'm so glad since I moved here, I have been getting back into the habit of cleaning up my mess immediately. That means I'm going to have to put that sauce in the fridge along with these peps and this Parmesan. So into the fridge that goes. Oh yeah. Not to mention all of this mozzarella too. So, boy, I definitely have more than enough to make another pizza if I want. Maybe I'll even do, well, no. I mean, really, I'm living by myself. One pizza is more than enough. I'm not even going to finish one pizza tonight. Building another one would be really not much, there's not much point to it. For the record, tomorrow is Easter. I will be just by myself because I'm on the work pager tomorrow. That's just how it was scheduled. Nothing intentional. That's just really how the work schedule turned out. That's all right. Especially since I moved here to New York. Well, I am not really missing out, and I'm not saying that in any way of getting pity. That's just how it is. So, I will be enjoying myself tomorrow. Okay. I had said 3:48. Currently it is 3:57. Wow. All right. Looking at this pizza here. Let me see. Okay, actually, let me take the phone out of the holder. Maybe that will help. If we can carefully move over to the oven. Ugh. Not bad. This has just hit 10 minutes. It's hard to tell from the top, but I don't think it's quite ready yet. I think maybe 2 minutes maximum, and we are done. Oh dear, I've got to clean my oven glass. Trivet is interesting. Oh yeah, the trivet. Yeah, the trivet. This particular one I came across at an antique store for $10. And yeah, I was very much intrigued by the design. Something about the way all these curves and that symbol that looks like an eye in the center. Actually, to me, it reminded me of something from H.P. Lovecraft. And so for $10, I could not resist picking it up. And then I came across the exact same one at the Brimfield Antique Show. Did not get it because I already have one. But the one at the Brimfield Antique Show had a John Wright name on it, which means that this is actually a USA-made John Wright trivet. So, yeah, I'm happy about that. All right. And we are almost ready already. It's almost pizza time. That sure didn't take long. And I'm definitely beginning to smell it too, which means you know what they say, when you smell it, it's done. Not just with pizza, but with baking in general. I can see that that the cheese is bubbling nicely on top. Let me see, 349, no, 59. When the oven clock changes to 4 o'clock, which is in another few seconds or so, I think we will take this out. So anyway, once again, I can only thank everybody. Oh, better get my gloves. I can only thank everybody, though, for taking the time to watch. You know, that's always the most important part. There we go. It says 4 o'clock, which means here it comes. Oof. Okay. Oh, yeah. I think we called it. There we go. Not bad at all, I think. Especially, I probably should have put some olive oil around the crust before it went into the oven. Well, fortunately, I can always baste it. Oh, good. No, that's actually still too hot. Okay. I can always baste it with this garlic butter. So, let's do that. Oh yeah. I'll bet you can hear that snap, crackle, and pop. That, of course, is from the butter in the pan. But still, this is looking okay. It's got some nice brown spots on the top. With any luck, there should be some decent browning on the bottom as well. Turn off the oven. So I think the last thing we will do before calling this will be to plate it, or at least get it out of the pan. So that means I do hope, I think I forgot a platter for the pizza. Okay, let's move this over. I always forget something. Well, what else is new for this channel? Okay, is this big enough? This is too small. Oh boy. All right. In that case, I actually need a pizza platter. Good grief. I only realized it at this moment. You know, one of those metal pizza platters. Yeah, because the only one I have is too small. All right, then I guess we're gonna have to fake it. That means move this over, and it's gonna have to go here onto this cutting board. So, careful. Yeah, it's gonna be a little close, but I should be able to make it. Move this over a little bit. Wonder if you could use a Wagner chicken fryer to make pizza? You could use any cast iron pan to make pizza. I'm afraid I have not been able to see the conversations here because I am, as I said, I'm watching this on my phone. The comments disappear immediately from my phone. However, let's get this out of here carefully, and we shall be done. Now, if this is like every other pizza I've ever made in cast iron, and that's not a boast, getting it out of the pan is actually pretty easy. Observe. And plop. There we go. Stumpy goes on the stove. Because he's hot. Oh, I mean, he's really physically hot. Sexy? Yeah, but he's also hot. Nonetheless, there we go. That sure didn't take long. According to this, it has been 33 minutes. So we made and baked a pizza in 33 minutes. And I'm sure if you were not doing this live like I was, you could do this even faster. Oh, the cooking temperature. I heated my oven up to the maximum, to 550 degrees. I think I'll say that right now. Before I got started, probably about 15 minutes before this live, in fact, I put the large pizza pan, the flat pizza pan there, 15-inch pizza pan, I put that into the cold oven. Then turn the on the bottom rack, because that's where all the heating element is in my oven. And I turned the oven up to 550 degrees. Did I mention I really love this gas stove? And yeah, I let the cast iron and the oven heat up to 550 degrees. And in fact, when the oven beeped that it was at that temperature, I left it in, so that I could be sure that the iron was truly heated. And it was at that point that I went live and built this pizza. The pizza dough, as I mentioned, I had put in the pan a full 2 hours before I started this live, so that it could, come to room temperature, expand a little bit more, and there would be no difficulty at all with my spreading it out to fill the entire pan. Whereas you can see, there was no difficulty at all there. And that's pretty much it. Once the iron had heated up, and then we just built the pizza. As I said already, I did not preheat Stumpy. I did not preheat that cast iron skillet. I only preheated the large pizza pan. So I just took old Stumpy with the pizza, put it in the hot oven directly on top of the pizza pan, and baked it. And this was done in a total of 12 minutes. So, oh yeah, definitely. One last thing then before we go, which means I've got to disconnect this from the holder again. Here comes some shaky cam. But I'm sure you'll want to see this. We have browning, definitely. So yeah, there's not going to be any problem with this crust being all done. In fact, I gotta be careful not to burn myself. So I've that pretty much covers it. In fact, I mean, we have done everything we set out to do. Again, we built a pizza for tonight. And other than that, I can only hope all you folks as well have a good evening too, because as I said, tomorrow's Easter. For some folks, it is a very, very special day. For a lot of other folks, Easter is still a fun day. And it's going to be a fun day for me too. Like I said, I'm on the work page tomorrow, but that's okay. Which means I'll really be relaxing and taking calls from work, so that's not so bad. And most of all, though, keep safe, everybody. So thank you very much for watching. We will continue this again. Well, there's always next Wednesday. And I have a couple of other videos planned that I just need to put together. I have two planned, in fact. Tonight, later tonight, in fact, I want to make a lamb cake because, well, Easter. And then from there, we will get ready for next week where I hope to do a dual live with the Mudbrooker. Where's our lamb cake? Yes, exactly. That's the thing. So I'll be taking care of that tonight. All right. But thank you, everybody, for watching, and thank you very much for showing up. I'll be reading your comments after this. And, well, thank you again. I hope everybody had fun. Have a good afternoon, everyone.